Let's go, let's go, let's go. This is the day that the Lord has made. We are rejoicing and we are glad in it. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What's happening, family? On this beautiful, beautiful Friday. For those of you that are coming on, please do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know your boy, Ramonepreston, my squad around the corner, and the Ramonepreston Show. We are live in his house right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta on this beautiful Friday, September the 23rd, 2022. Again, good afternoon. Welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. Please hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know we are live today on this beautiful Friday. And I need you to drop in the comments. Please drop in the comments what city you're watching your boy from. What city are you representing today? Please put it in the comments. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube page. I know it's a lot of you out there. It might be you right here, you. Don't you be the one watching the show every day and not hit that subscribe button. So please be sure. Hit the like button, hit the share button while you're on today. Drop in the comments what city you're watching me from. And please hit the subscribe button. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. I'm your host, Ramonepreston, every Monday through Friday, live, unless I'm traveling, unless I'm busy, unless I'm unable to make it here live. Otherwise, every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, I show up right here in the middle of a busy day, even when I'm dressed down, even when I got my gospel gangster swag on, I still show up here because I want to share information with you that I know can help you start, help you structure, and help you scale any business, any ministry, any income stream, any wealth building dream. So if you have an idea for business, if you got an idea for some financial freedom, if you're trying to figure out how you move from a W-2 employee to a business owner, or maybe you're just trying to figure out how you increase your income, anything that's got to do with business, starting, structuring, and scaling, which includes financial literacy, it includes investing and wealth building. I use this show every Monday through Friday to share information with you to help you. And all the information that I share with you, it's a direct reflection of who I am, and it's an extension of what we provide here at Ramonepreston Enterprises. So we are a consulting, a coaching, and a educational training company. We provide business and financial consulting, business and financial coaching, business and financial education and training. We have programs, we have services, we have events, we have a lot of things that we share with our community, and we're helping a lot of people. We have clients in all of our programs. We have our licensing program, we have a business incubator program, we have a coaching and consulting certification program, we have a millionaire mentorship coaching program, we have an online program, and guess what? We've got people in all of our programs who are changing the trajectory of their personal, professional, and financial lives. So I want to say thank you for joining the show. I appreciate you giving me some time to share some information with you. And today, our discussion is really going to be based on a question. What does it mean to own a business? Everybody talking about they want to own a business, but everybody don't understand that out of the 32 million businesses, at least 32 million registered businesses in the United States of America, 99% of these businesses, like they're small, and they really don't even make money. Most businesses don't even make money. Most business owners have a regular job and they're trying to, run their business and scale their business on the side. Now, there are so many reasons why most businesses don't make money. Most business owners have jobs that they can't work in their businesses full time. There's so many reasons. I'm not getting into that, but one of the most important things that a business owner needs to know, or a future business owner needs to know, is what exactly a business is. Like, what does it mean? What does it mean to own a business? And so that's what I'm going to be talking about today. What does it mean to own a business? So if you're taking notes, I want you to take notes. I have some amazing offers that we are extending to our community because I want to get you educated. We got like 14 weeks left in 2022. And I don't know if you set some financial goals for this year, or if you already got a business and you set some business goals and you haven't had a chance to hit them. And maybe you're trying to figure out why you didn't get to your financial goals yet. Why don't you see your business where you want it to be yet? There may be some issues in this conversation that we bring to the surface, and I'm not going to just bring issues and problems to the surface and not give you some solutions. I'm going to give you some strategies. I'm going to give you some ideas on things that you can do so that you can hit your goals within the next 14 weeks of this year. So what does it mean to own a business? That's what we want to talk about today. What does it mean to own a business? Well, number one, to own a business, it means you own a legacy. So I want you to write that down. What does it mean to own a business? Number one, it means you own a legacy. All right, this is very, very important. When you own a business, you essentially own a legacy. When you own a business, you essentially own a legacy. So what that means is owning a business is really your way of owning a legacy or a vehicle that can not only take care of you in your lifetime, but it can take care of your family beyond your lifetime. Because legacy is not just about what you leave your children when you're gone. A legacy is not something you should just leave. A legacy is something you should live. So when you're able to set up and structure a business correctly, you're actually setting up and structuring a legacy. I don't have a problem with people working jobs. I think working a job is a part of what you have to do. I mean, business owners that don't encourage people to work jobs are just ridiculous. Why you say that? Because how you gonna be a business owner and you're not gonna promote and encourage people to work jobs, and you're gonna need employees at some point. So it doesn't mean that just because you have a job, you can't own a business. There's a way that you can own a business. So for example, if you're an employee and you wanna create a legacy for your family, you know you can't leave your family, your children, your job, because your job is a position within somebody else's company. But you can use that job to get better at the things that you do. You could use that job to make money. You could become disciplined with your money. You could save your money and store your money. And when the opportunity presents itself for you to invest, you can start investing your money, even if you don't plan on owning a business to run it necessarily. You may just own a business for investing. So there's a way that you can use a business, but this is tied to your legacy. So I know a lot of people who are successful financially and they don't own no businesses. So I want you to hear me. I know a lot of people who are financially successful who do not own businesses, but they have businesses that they invest their money into. So even though they don't own an operational business, even though they don't own a business that is actually in the marketplace selling products and services, they have ownership interests in businesses that generate passive income for them. So I want you to understand the difference between the two, because whether you are an employee or a legitimate operational business owner, you should still have the mindset and the skill set to be able to use businesses for the purpose of establishing and expanding your legacy. So what does it mean to own a business? Number one, it means to own a legacy. You have to own your own legacy. And that means you're going to have to be willing to make the necessary sacrifices and the necessary adjustments to put you and your legacy in a position to take care of you and your family, as well as to take care of all the things that you're doing in your life, whether it's a certain lifestyle you want, whether it's certain toys that you want, whether it's certain things that you want to do for your church or your community. All these things should actually be tied to your legacy. So when it comes to owning a business, you're actually owning a legacy. Your legacy becomes the vehicle that you use to establish a certain quality of life for yourself. I always tell this to my staff. I always tell this to them. All of us work for my company, and all of us get a salary based on a certain role and a responsibility that we have, okay? We're hired for my company to do a certain job, all right? That should not necessarily be the money that we're looking at to use in order to finance a certain lifestyle. A lot of times that money is only going to be enough for you to pay your bills and for you to have some wiggle room and discipline to start putting some of that towards a legacy. When you put it towards a legacy, you're actually going to convert it into a vehicle that can create some form of passive income. But in order for this to work, it still has to operate through some type of business, if that makes sense. This is why businesses are legacies, because you're able to own a business, whether it's an operational business or if you just have a job and that's your business, and you're able to take the money that you get from that operational business or that job, and you're able to drop the free cash flow that you get, if you're disciplined enough, into some type of business that is set up as a legacy business so that it can become a vehicle to create passive income for you. All right? So that's number one. What does it mean to own a business? Number one, it means you own a legacy. Number two, to own a business means you own an asset. And I don't think, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't even think people who own businesses and who run businesses every day understand the value of a business. I just don't think people do, because your business is actually an asset. So if you own a business right now, I want you to understand you own an asset. Here's what's crazy about it, and I don't think a lot of business owners understand this. You can own a business, at least here in the United States of America, you can own a business even when you can't own a car. You can own a business even when you can't own a house. Think about it. It's not easy to get a house. It's not easy to get a car. It's not easy to own certain assets or certain liabilities. It's just not easy to own certain things. But it's easy to own a business, especially when you own that business and that business becomes a part of your legacy, and you start developing that business in a way so that it can actually become an asset. Now, what are some ways that your business can become an asset? This takes me back to the 101 that I teach. I teach that if you're going to start an operational business, whether it's you providing a service, whether it's you selling a product, the best way to start that business is to first start your holding company. This is why I always say this. Because when you start your holding company, let's say if this is a LLC, that's business number one, right? So you got business number one. And then you start your operating company, whether it's for products or services. This LLC becomes business number two. What you have just done with this basic 101 infrastructure is you have created what we call an asset. Why is this an asset? Because now this company that owns a company that's out there operating to sell products and services has become an asset manager, because this company is managing this company. So now not only does this company become an asset to this company, but both of these companies become an asset to you. This is why when you own a business, you own an asset. And so now that you've set up and structured a business this way, which is why I teach so much and talk so much about it, once you've done this, now you can start taking all the things that you believe have value to you and bring all those things into the ecosystem of what you're building. And so those things could be ownership interests of other businesses. Those things could be NFTs, if you're in the NFT space. It could be cryptocurrency. It could be real estate. It could be equipment. It could be other operational businesses. It could be copyrights, trademarks, IP, intellectual property. It could be a whole lot of things. But now you're able to bring all these things into an ecosystem that you have created to become an asset. That's why owning a business is essentially owning an asset. I'm giving you the game, and guess what? All of this, what I'm talking about, if you feel like, man, what he's saying is true, but how do I actually do it? This is why you need the education. This is why you need the training. So when I have these conversations with people, whether it's through the show or whether it's on a call or whether it's at an event or just in front of somebody sitting down or having a one-on-one conversation, I always explain to people that you can listen to people like me, and while you're listening to me, it starts clicking. You start understanding it. You're like, oh my God, that's it right there. But if you don't take the next step to start educating yourself on these things, it's kind of like looking at somebody ride a bicycle or ride a motorcycle or drive a boat or fly a helicopter or a plane. And when you see it, you're like, oh my God, that's so cool. I want to do it. But in order for you to become that person who's doing it and who's actually getting results from it, what has to happen? You got to go through a process to get to that point. You got to start educating yourself. You got to go through some training. You got to get good enough to be able to handle it. And then once you get good enough to be able to handle it, you get in the driver's seat and you're able to execute. It's the same way with the things I'm talking about. So what does it mean to own a business? Number one, it means to own a legacy. You own a legacy when you own a business, especially if you have it set up and structured the right way. Number two, it means to own an asset, because you own an asset when you own a business as long as you have it set up and structured the right way. Number three, it means you own a system. And this is the most powerful one right here. It means you own a system. And I'm gonna stop with this one right here because this is like really the most powerful one. Most people who own businesses don't understand that owning that business really means, number one, you own a legacy. Number two, you own an asset. And more importantly, for the purpose of going into the marketplace and making money, especially if you got a business set up because you want to go make money, well, guess what? It means you own a system. You own a system. Just because you got your EIN number, just because you got your LLC articles, just because you got your Duns and Bradstreet, none of this means anything to owning a business, because this is not necessarily a system. This is just data, information to show that you have been through the initial process to legitimize or legalize this thing called a business entity. But it don't mean it's gonna make you no money. It don't mean it's gonna make you rich. It don't mean it's gonna make an impact. It don't mean it's gonna change the trajectory of your life. What's going to take place in terms of that business becoming successful and making you money and getting you to where you want to be is you starting to build an infrastructure for that entity through this thing called systems. So now what that means is you got your EIN number, you got your Secretary of State articles, you got your bank account, you got your Duns and Bradstreet, you're trying to get some business credit, you got a bank account, all this stuff. What's next? Well, what's next is you've got to start taking your ideas, things that you have ideas about, and you got to start converting those ideas into products and services. So whatever the things are that you know you want to do through this thing called the business, these are ideas, things that you want to do. Now you got to take those things and convert those things into products and services. Once you start converting those things into products and services, you've got to put a dollar amount to how much those products and services are going to cost. Now, this is a very difficult process because you got to make sure your ideas are good enough so that when you do turn them into products and services, somebody want to actually buy it. You want to make sure that it's valuable. Well, how are you going to know that? One way you're going to know that is being around people who understand these things, who can help gauge if what you're thinking about doing is worth doing, rather than you just throwing spaghetti on the wall, hoping it stick, and you ain't really getting nothing done because you're not being held accountable. This is why having a coach, having mentors, being in communities like mastermind groups and joining programs like we have available, and being able to have people like me in your ear all the time, and my team in your ear all the time, and having us on speed dial is so important to you. Like, we get clients who call in every day. They have questions, they got things that they're dealing with that they don't know anything about. But guess what? They're able to reach out to us and communicate with us on a day-to-day basis. Not every blue moon, day to day. Every day we're communicating with clients. Every day we're talking to clients. A lot of days I walk in and out the office and one of our concierges will be on the phone with somebody and I'll hear him say, "Oh, Mr. Preston just walked in the office. Let me ask him." Or if I walk in, they got 2 or 3 questions that somebody asked that they're getting ready to call back and give them the answer for. But that accessibility comes because they have made the decision to be a part of communities, to be a part of groups. Does it cost? Of course it costs. But what doesn't cost? As a matter of fact, it costs you more not having that accessibility than it does to have it. Think about all the mistakes you made if you in business right now, that once you learned certain things from people, you realize you wasted a lot of money and a lot of time. But what if you would have joined some type of community and group before you wasted that money and that time? You wouldn't have wasted it. You would have accelerated your growth and your progress and seen more results and success earlier. So you don't want to just keep playing seesaw with your legacy, seesaw with your success, seesaw with your potential future, okay? And so you got to take your ideas, turn them into products and services, put prices to them, and then you got to take them to the marketplace. And this is all a process. And in order for you to do these things, you've got to have systems. You got to have platforms that you have already built within your business, or you've connected, integrated to your business so that you can start housing the data of all these activities of this process, if that makes sense. So what does it mean to own a business? You should know it by now. What does it mean? It means you own a legacy, number 1. It means you own an asset, number 2. It means you own a system, number 3. Now, what I do in my programs, whether it's my online training program or my coaching program, I teach on the 5 corporate systems. And I show you how to take those 5 corporate systems and how to start building an infrastructure with those 5 corporate systems so that when you do start integrating the right platforms to your business, everything works in a rhythm. Everything has a flow to it. Everything feels easy and almost automated, okay? So if you've ever thought about creating an automated business outside of you just having like an online store or an Amazon drop shipping business or something like that, I'm talking about like having a real business organization that you want it to feel automated so that you ain't just burdened with a lot of legwork. Well, that happens because you're able to use technology. So you take the top 5 corporate systems and you start integrating the right technology and platforms that represent those top 5 systems, and you start creating what we call an organizational flow chart, so that when you do go out on social media, when you do send emails, when you do have events, when you do put content out, when you do start marketing and start pitching and presenting your products and services, you have a back office of a real business because you got systems. And so I want to give you access to all the information I'm talking about. We have an online training program for business and finance. It's called the Millionaire Blueprint. We can give you 1-year access to it. You can learn how to start and structure holding companies. You can learn how to develop your divisions and your subsidiaries. Like literally, that one course alone teaches you how to set up a holding company LLC, to set up operating companies LLCs, and how to actually manage the day-to-day operations of those multiple entities. We also have in this Millionaire Blueprint, we have courses on financial literacy. We teach you about accounting, we teach you about QuickBooks, we teach you about creative tax strategies, because once you do start making money, the next problem you're gonna have is the tax problem, and you need to know the fundamentals of creative tax strategies. You gotta know how to use software and platforms like QuickBooks to maximize your tax liabilities, which means you've got to know how to write things off, how to create opportunities for you to take money that you're making through the year and move it into other investments or things that are considered expenses, but they're actually expanding your business. So these are like creative strategies you got to work into your business, but you got to learn how to do it. We teach you about sales and marketing. We actually show you how to put a sales process together so that when you do market and people do reach out to you, or when you do reach out to people, what process do you have to walk people through in order for them to become paid clients or paid customers? Or you need to have those things in mind even when you're marketing. Like, the world is different today, and so you have to get educated on these things. You got to get trained on these things. We also have courses within this Millionaire Blueprint to teach you about systems and processes. So we have an entire module, a section in this Millionaire Blueprint to show you exactly what I just told you, how to create an organizational flow chart for you and for your business, to show you how to create a vision and a mission, and how to create core values, how to create activity processes, meaning that, for example, when you walk into your office every day, or when you wake up every day and you're the CEO, what is your role? What is your responsibility? What are the metrics or the KPIs that you have for what you're doing, so that you can measure the results of what you're getting to see what works and what doesn't work? All of this is a part of you learning about systems and processes. We have courses in this Millionaire Blueprint for investing. We teach the fundamentals of real estate investing. We have courses in this Millionaire Blueprint to show you how to properly set goals. And we've got hundreds of videos to train you on how to properly start, structure, and scale a legitimate business. That's why we call it a Millionaire Blueprint, because first of all, it's a millionaire blueprint. It's the blueprint for you to become a 7-figure earner, for you to become a millionaire. And that's where your mindset should be. And that's what I believe everybody should have as a target, to become millionaires and to create $1 million financial opportunities for themselves and for their families. But how are you going to do it if you ain't got the information? How you going to build it out? You could just sit home every day and just do what you do every day and say, you know what? One day God gonna bless me and I'm gonna be a millionaire. Well, hopefully you're right, but if God doesn't do it for you, maybe he wants to do it through you. And how is he gonna do it through you? He's gonna do it through you because you're gonna take the initiative to get the right information, to get the right training. And so we have a whole online program available. We could give you access to it immediately, instant access. You can start training today, and you can access it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's an online virtual platform. Maybe you want coaching. We have a 1-year business coaching program that we provide access to our training online, but we also give you access to our one-on-one coaching sessions with me. We give you access to our weekly coaching calls. We host coaching calls every week for our clients. We give you access to our Millionaire Concierge that you're able to communicate with on a regular basis if you got questions and need some direction. We give you access to our quarterly workshops. So every quarter we host a workshop. We take about 4 to 6 hours every quarter, and we come together and we do a deep dive into sales, marketing, business, operations, financial systems, and we work these things into your businesses so that by the time you end this 1-year program, you've put together a successful organizational enterprise. So if you want more information about our signature programs, if you would like to make a decision today and be a part of one of our programs, I would love to have an opportunity to speak with you and to really answer any questions that you may have. But here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to text the word millionaire.
You're buffering?
I'm buffering?
Yeah, you was.
Okay.
Yeah. So it could be the internet connection.
Is it still buffering?
Yeah, let me see because I don't hear you coming on.
Oh, wow. Let's see.
No, Dad.
Wow. It's off?
I don't know if it's off yet.
Look like I'm back on there. Wow. Well, well, well. We still buffing, huh? Wow. Right at the back end, huh? That's cray cray. That's cray cray. It's still doing it to y'all? Wow. Ain't that something? I guess it's a wrap then. Ain't got no choice if it's doing that. I was in the process of doing that.